If I can make one more comment on the vouchers, I'll say this has been the most contentious issue within the marijuana party. I think all of the other items on the platform, the legalizing of the brothels, the no new taxes, what have you, there's very widespread support within the party. But the voucher thing has been somewhat contentious. But the bottom line, if I can just finish here, the bottom line on this voucher thing is that we are offering a ballot initiative system where people can vote on things. And we could definitely, or anyone in the province, could put this before the public and have a vote on it, and the results of that vote would be the law. People could vote for vouchers or against them. The public would have the ultimate say on it with our initiative plan.
And the thing about the ballot initiative program is that no human rights were not going to be put up as something that we're going to have a referendum on. The Supreme Court would still be there to make sure that the human rights were protected and represented. Yep. But all other kinds of things that right now, if we want to make a referendum or an initiative, you have to get something like
200,000 signatures in X amount of time. It's virtually impossible unless you're a billionaire.
You cannot do an initiative in BC. There is a so-called Initiative Act. It's never been used in 7 or 8 years now.
They tried to do it with
They tried, but not successfully.
They couldn't have the money.
Well, let me tell you, there's 79 electoral districts. To do an initiative, you'd have to have a different set of forms for each district. You have only 60 days to get all the signatures of 10% of the people. You're not allowed to hire paid canvassers. If the measure passed in 78 ridings and it lost by 1 vote in 1 riding, it would not become law. Yeah. And then ultimately the whole thing can be struck down by Victoria. It's a total scam being perpetrated against the people of BC, and that's why we say scrap it, replace it with one like Washington or Oregon, where they do vote on these issues regularly, one which the people can actually use.
And you could even go further than that. You could do proportional rep combined with 12 referendums a year. There's an unlimited ways to improve this political system. I just wanted to point out something else in our healthcare policy. It's also pretty contentious. It didn't even make it into the ad, but they said all alternative medicines and therapies which cost less than conventional treatment should be covered by healthcare. I think that's pretty left-wing, pretty left-leaning, and pretty progressive for the marijuana party, and that's what gives me hope that this thing will be a mixture of both neighborhoods, like the best of both worlds, really, the best of the libertarians and the right wing, and the best of the Greens and the left wing, and people who are sick and tired of watching the NDP use landmines on natives and keep cutting down the big trees. They need some place to vote. I think this party is pretty attractive to those people.
Well, I'm really interested in this in our alternative medicine, being able to have access to those. I'm HIV positive, and I'm a member of the BC Compassion Club, and I've gone to their herbalists, and they've been able to suggest certain mushrooms and herbs that I could take, and but being able to afford these things is very hard. And also, I've found that marijuana has been able to make it so that I can take the conventional antiviral drugs that the doctors give me and keep them down and not be nauseous and have appetite and also be happier. And I have to pay for that marijuana. If I could say that this is my medicine, and to be able to have that paid for would be a great relief. Right now, I have to make sacrifices in other areas of my life to get that, and it still would be cheaper than the thousands of dollars that my antiviral medications are costing me.
I wanted to sort of talk about the Compassion Club, because it almost seems as if there's 2 messages being sent. Like, on one hand, the marijuana party is talking about legalization, and the Compassion Club's talking about legalization through prescription. And I just wanted to...
The ideal world, I'll just say a quick thing. Ideal world would be where sick people could go get subsidized medicine that's totally organic and quality controlled. They could select their strain and then healthy people could socialize in cafes and clubs, and you need both. You need the services for the sick. The Compassion Club isn't just about selling pot. They have alternative therapies, herbal, acupuncture, you name it, they have it. And I think you need that, but you need the freedom to just be social and not in a medicinal sort of atmosphere. So both groups are cooperating on this, I think.
Let me just point out that the Compassion Club is not the marijuana party. It is a distributor of medical marijuana, and as Dave mentioned, that's just a small part. If you actually go in the Compassion Club, that's just one little corner where they distribute the marijuana. All the rest is these alternative therapies, the acupuncture, acupressure, healing touch. They have all these different types of alternative medicines available. But the marijuana party is separate. We do obviously speak for the medical marijuana community, but we speak for all marijuana users. And as that is our first and foremost policy, to bring about rational marijuana laws. And let me point out too, we want marijuana laws that the people of BC want. 70% of British Columbians want either decrim or legalization. So our democracy just isn't working. That's why we have a marijuana party.
Yeah. It's no wonder it's happening here in Vancouver, because if you go to the downtown east side, there's a major problem with hard drugs and people on the street.
Exactly.
And what we're proposing is that they not have to shoot up in alleys, and that there'd be safe injection sites and on services available to them to get them into methadone programs, or to help them so that they're at least not dropping dead at the incredible rate that they are. And I mean, even the mayor of Vancouver, as conservative as he is, has pointed out that there is a need for services for these people, so that, and the only way that we're going to solve that problem with the hard drugs, part and parcel of it, is the legalization of soft drugs, because it separates the market. It keeps people from having to go to the heroin and the cocaine dealers to get the marijuana, and it gives the hard drug users an opportunity to get off their drugs. A lot of people find using marijuana helps them stay off the hard drugs and stay off the alcohol.
I'd like to make one more comment regarding the Compassion Club, because I am a member. Just like to describe my own use of medical marijuana. 1995, I was on a crosswalk. I was hit, I was knocked over 30 feet. I broke my back in 4 places. And I reached a point 8 months after that injury where the conventional medicine, the doctors had me on 24 pills per day. 6 pills 4 times a day, and I was still in pain. I could not function. I was so zonked out I couldn't get off the couch. And I asked my doctor, please, let's try something. This is what I use now. Medical marijuana. That's all I use. I take no pills whatsoever. I'm back in the workforce. When my back goes crazy, I'll use the medical marijuana.
Okay, well, thank you guys very much for coming here, and appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been great.